Hi. Okay, so today I'm going to teach you cursive. We're going to start with the letter C. Always start with the letter C in cursive. There's a lot of other letters that from that muscle memory you can create. So first, we're going to put our pencil tip on our paper and go up, stop, retrace, and up. So we've created a wave. I'm gonna draw a little surfer dude guy in there, or gal, or whoever they are is fine. Little person. See? So from here, we're going to create C's across. So we'll put a finger space to the margin, lift, place our pencil tip on the red line, and go up, retrace, and up. Finger space, place the pencil tip, curve over, touch, retrace, and up. Finger space, place the pencil tip, curve up, touch that midline, curve down a little bit, retrace, come back up. Finger space, place the pencil tip, and go. Finger space, place pencil tip, and go. Finger space, place your pencil tip, and go. And I don't want my letters to be scrunched, so I'm not going to finish up this line. Now I'm going to connect them. Nope. I'll show you the A next. Place pencil tip for finger space. Place pencil tip, lift, and go. This time we're going to make this C, curve, retrace, go up, touch where that C was, the tip of that C, go down and up. Finger space, place pencil tip, and go. Go up, make our C, retrace, touch bottom line, up, touch that tip of the C, curve, and up. We have our paper slanted because that will give our handwriting a nice curve. And after a little while, you'll be able to see how much a finger space is, either by eyeballing that space or lining it up with the letter above. And I'm going slowly, and I might not always touch this midline here. It depends on what the next letter will be, because when we write, all of these letters are just sounds. When we link them together, the sounds create words. Next, I'm going to teach you the O. So again, we're eyeballing it. Use your finger, place, lift, pull away, and go. So here we're going to make our C again. And then instead of the A, we're just going to give it a little shoop. You can have this loop here if you'd like, or you can have no loop. This is your handwriting. And when I teach handwriting, so here's a loop, here's no loop. It's totally up to you. I'm going to show you how to form your letters. And think of it as a drawing exercise. I like a little loop because I like loops. Think of it as a drawing exercise where I'm instructing you to draw a certain way. When you're on your own, you can draw any way you wish. But for the purposes of this tutorial, um, just trust me. I'll give you some variations, especially when we get to the cursive letters, the capital cursive letters. But for now, just go along with this. Now what I like to do is I like to underline my favorite one and explain why. So I'm going to go back through my row of C's and say, okay, which one is the most beautiful to me? And I'm going to explain why. And I like this one, so I'm going to underline it. And the reason why I like this one is because it has this nice curve coming up. It's got like a little hook on the end. I've retraced it without overlapping. And it has a nice smooth, what am I going to call this? Mark after the C. This one I don't like because I don't like the way that it shaped it. It kind of like overstretched it a little bit. This one, there's a gap. When I'm writing fast, my handwriting is terrible when I write super fast because I'm not being careful. So that's it for the C. And I think this one is the one that I dislike, but I'm not going to mark it and call them out because that's not nice to that C. So underline the one that you like best and say why. And of my A's, I think I like, second to last again. I like it because I came up, I traced it evenly. When I went back, there's a nice clear line here, and I came up. My least favorite one probably, probably is this one because I overlapped here, or I didn't retrace cleanly. How do I want to word that? I didn't retrace cleanly. And it's not as slanted as this one. It's more upright. And I like my cursive to be slanted. And that's how we'll practice this, is with a slant. When you're writing on your own, if you don't like the look of a slant, don't use it. For my O's, I'm going with the second to last, but I see that I went under the line a little bit. So I'm going to pick this one, I think. I like this one because I came up, I did create a little gap here when I should have retraced, but I like the look of this loop best, and I like that this O has a nice round shape. I think this loop is maybe too big for me. If you like big loops, it's your handwriting. You do it on your own. So I'll offer some variation with this. Okay, so our next letter is going to be a D. So create our finger space, place the pencil tip, and go. So creating our C, retracing carefully. And here we would make an A, but we're going to go up, 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 and touch that blue line and pull back down. Okay, D. Create our finger space or eyeball it and line it up and go. We're creating our C. Now it would be an A or an O, but it's not. We're going to go straight up and touch. Some people don't go all the way up and touch. They might stop here. A T will do that as well. When we get to the T, you'll see that. But go all the way up and touch and pull back down. Line it up or use your finger space and go. We create this wave first for all of these letters. That's what these letters have in common. And I want you to, I shouldn't word it like, it's best for your learning. It doesn't matter what I want. It matters what you learn and what you interpret. So, D. Ah. And I'm just going to point this out because I did it fast. I didn't retrace here, I didn't retrace here, and I didn't touch this line here, and this is not straight. So this poor D, I think, is my least favorite already. I think the way that you breathe is also important to cursive. So I'll ask that you start taking a deep breath when you start. Because I think people tend to hold their breath and then that makes them nervous. Okay. The next one I'm going to teach you is a G. So we have our tall letters. And now we have our ones with tails. Oh, I didn't cue you to make the finger space. So we're going up, and like it would be an A, but then we're going down, 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 touch. Doing a little curve and coming back up. Now with my G's, I like to have a bigger space here. And I like my tail to be longer and thinner. This line, it is what it is. This line could be longer for me. Maybe your cursive is will accommodate not having a longer line, but just for the purposes of this now, know that you start here, touch here, touch here, touch here, and come back through. So with our G, making our C, go up as if we're making an A, pull down, around and up. Ooh, I like that one because there's a gap here. And now I'm not using my finger space. If you like it, use your finger space. If you don't, just eyeball it. If you're older, you have better muscle control with your hand and your pencil, you might not need to do that. But it, I shouldn't say you might not need to. You haven't developed the spatial relations, no. Do it if you want to. If you don't, don't. But if you find that your handwriting is getting messy because you're not using that finger space, think about it. Self-reflect. Okay. The next one will be a Q. Place pencil tip. We're looking for all the letters that will give you this wave here. Touch, pull down, and then instead of it going this way, you're going to go this way with your tail. And go. Make your C, retrace, touch, and up. Always go slowly. This is not a race. This is not a race. If your parents have been saying this to you at home, it's not a race. You have another child with you, make sure you're working at your own pace. Up. And go. Oh, and I haven't been underlining my favorite ones, so I'm going to go back. My row of D's. Okay, I like this D best because there's a smooth line here and I overlap neatly. I think I took my time on that one. My least favorite, again, we were saying this one because it's kind of wonky. This overlap, or this doesn't overlap well. This doesn't touch down here, and this isn't straight. My favorite G. It's a tie between this one and this one. I think I'll do this one. I like this G best. I like that there's a nice circular line here, curve here. There's a gap here, and there's a tail here. The back is nice and straight. I do go under a little bit, but again, my G's are probably down here. Like, I'll do a G for you. That's mine. And my hand just naturally wants to keep going till about here, and then curve up. So almost 2 whole spaces. I like long, graceful tails. And then for my Q, I think I like this one best. Again, so third one, I'm seeing patterns. I like, because this is a nice curve, I retrace it, it touches this line evenly, and then there's a nice clean touch here instead of it being like a loop. But if you want to do a loop, you're more than welcome. So my Qs normally would have a long tail like this. I naturally just want to keep going a little bit more, and so my normal cursive would probably be like, as we can see, like halfway in between here and here, like a little bit longer. Okay, so we have, can you think of any other letters that might have this wave to them? I don't think so. So now I'm going to show you how to connect them. So let's think of a word. You think of a word? We could write, do you guys like fish? You can do codfish. How about cod? So I'm gonna make our C, finger space, and I'm going to link these letters together. Cod, C, and then I'm gonna go right up into it. It's my O, and then what's the next letter? D. D. See how slowly I'm going? If you go much slower than me, that's great. Don't go any faster. Okay? Cod. So there's no gaps. If you took a string, and this can be some of your homework as a creative activity, if you took a piece of yarn or piece of string and did it, you would not be cutting that piece of string while you're doing your letters, while you're writing a word. So you start here and you can trace it. Okay? We did not pick up our pencil at all. I kind of hovered it over there. But if you were to retrace it, let's retrace. Okay? And when you retrace your letters, your test to graduate all of this, to graduate your cursive alphabet, will be to write blindfolded. So you will take a piece of paper and write with your eyes closed. And see, maybe not with lines, like maybe a white piece of paper, because we're looking to see if you can get that shape down, get the muscle memory down. So I'm just going to do this now. So I'm placing my pencil tip here, and I'm going to try to write cod. This is a big test. Without looking. Okay, so I have it here. We'll see how this goes. It's not as great as it could be, but I got my muscle memory going. And that's what you want for your test later, is to see how precisely you can do it. And if you start younger, and have start early on and care about your handwriting and know how to form your letters and practice how you're forming them, and just trust me, trust this process, then later on as an adult, you'll have beautiful handwriting thanks to all the work that you've been doing as a child. So your homework is to finish writing the finger space across the board, and then what I'd like you to do is on a new piece of paper, or doesn't matter what I think, what would be beneficial for you, for your practice, is to do your C's. So this, I'm starting what your homework will look like for you. So you take your pencil tip, start it here, finger space. Yep, we got a margin going. And do your C's. And do them all across the whole paper. So create yourself a C chain. You'll look at it and it'll look like waves. And keep going. Go, 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 go. And don't pick your pencil tip up. If one isn't as beautiful as the one before it, just make a mental note of what you'd like to do to correct that for the next letter. But don't stop, don't dwell on it, don't worry, and don't erase. No erasing in cursive. Got it? And go. And you're just going to keep going, adjust your posture, but don't pick your pencil tip up. You can scoot your arm over. Keep going, and stop. Ta-da! Okay, then you're going to do that with, what's your next letter? A's. Finger space, place your pencil tip, and go. You're making your C, going around, and then touch, up and touch. Whoops, broke my own rule. I picked up my pencil. All right, and keep going. Make your C, and notice how you have this, it's called a lead line, where you go in, and that forms your next letter. And I'm thinking maybe they're too scrunchy, so I'm just going to adjust and scooch it away and make sure I give myself more breathing space so that my letters aren't so crowded. And I'm just going to create A's all the way down. Okay? So I'll do half of this row. Okay? And then I'm going to do D's, but you finish up this row. Got it? Okay. Placing pencil tip, we're eyeballing it. Place pencil tip and go. I'm creating a D, so I'm going to make my A and go up, 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 touch, and pull down. And then immediately launch right into there. My next D. Up, touch, and down. Another fun activity you could do, how much fun is this, huh? Is see how many letters you did across. Count them up, add them together, ha ha ha, and then tell me an average. And how do we find an average? I'm waiting. I don't know if you were right because I can't hear you. We add them all up and then divide by the number of lines, right? And that will give you an average number of how many letters you have in each line, in each row, right? These are rows and these are columns. There are no columns. Maybe if we turned it. Okay, so then you finish up this line. What's our next letter? Oh, go. We could write go. Making our O. So we create a C, do a little loop. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I should have launched in the O. So I'm going to retrace. Create a little O hat guy. And then this is tricky because it's lifted. So think of a server. Oh, where am I? Here we are. Think of a server and you're carrying a plate. You can't drop it, so you have to keep it lifted and then go right into, you're handing your tray off to another waitress, server. So you can't drop it and then hand it to them because then they have to pick it up. You have to keep it lifted and then they will take it from your hand. So the next letter receives, how do you word this? The next letter receives this lifted hand. Let's call it a hand. Because a V and a W will have a little hook. So it will look like a hand. Okay? All right. So, going back. O. Retrace, do a little loop, and then launch right in to your next O. Keep it lifted, and then your next O. Keep it lifted and go around. See that? So we're not dropping anything, because if we dropped it, it would be an A, right? So we don't want to drop anything. We're going to keep it an O. When we wrote cod, I didn't explain that then, so I should explain that at that time. And they're getting a little crunchy, so I'm going to extend that line out. Maybe reach a little bit further so that my O's aren't so scrunched. So we want a nice, even distance between all of our letters. But if you don't worry about it. Don't dwell on it. I'm just explaining what it is. And what I've been noticing that I do, that I need to fix with my handwriting, is that I will create this shape and then I won't touch. I'll like go over here and that can look messy and confusing. So instead, when I do my shape, I'm going to go up, touch, and then circle within it. If that makes sense, make my loop inside my O instead of like stretching it out so that it's too far over. You can zoom in and see what I'm talking about. And then you finish out this row on your own for homework. What's our next letter? You look it up. So in our next lesson, we are going to review some of this. Please do your homework so that we can just go right on to the next lesson. And you can rewatch this and practice if you'd like. Our next set of letters will be all the tall ones. So think about what those might be and maybe write them down and see if you're right to guess. And then all of the ones with tails. Now, we're leaving F for the very last because we're going to do a firefly art project with him. Because in cursive, the cursive F, lowercase f, is both tall and long. It has a tail. And it's pretty. So a lot of my students, that's their favorite letter to draw. How do I end this? So thank you for watching this tutorial, and I will post another video soon and review this. I don't know if I'm posting this online. This is probably going to be a blooper. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye.